Call to order the Town of Londonderry Zoning Board of Adjustment for December 17th, 2025. Welcome, everybody. Before we start this evening's meeting, I'd like to go over the meeting procedures. The clerk will read the case into the record. The applicant will come forward, please, in these two seats, and you'll make your presentation. You'll state your name and address for the record. The board will address the applicant with any questions or comments, and then those that are in favor of the request are given the opportunity to address the board. You would come to the podium, state your name and address. Those opposed or having questions regarding the request are also given the opportunity to address the board. You would come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. The applicant will have the opportunity to rebut any opposition, and the opposition is given the opportunity for rebuttal. The board will address the applicant with any additional comments or questions, and after which, if there are none, the public hearing portion regarding the case will be closed, at which time the board will enter into deliberations and vote on the request or continue the case to a future date. Again, those who wish to speak, you will approach, and you will have to state your name and address for the record. All conversations this evening will be directed through the board so that we ensure one single line of communication. So if you are coming up to either oppose or in favor of, you will address the board with any concerns or questions. We would then ask the applicant. We just want one streamline of communication tonight. If you have a cell phone, we ask that you either turn it off or turn it on to vibrate so that we have a quiet meeting. You can stay for the deliberations, or you can go to the town hall, and the decision will be posted within 48 hours following this meeting. So, before we begin anything, Nick, would you so kindly start?
My name is Nick Gardner. I'm the building inspector and zoning administrator.
Kristen Farr, Town Planner.
Lisa Sussman, zoning board alternate.
Mitch Feig, full member.
Jackie Bernard, full member.
Christine Perez, alternate.
And this evening, I will be nominating Lisa and Christine. I was going to call you Suzanne, because Suzanne always sits on my left side. Christine as full members, voting members this evening. I do want to let all of you know, we do not have a full board tonight. This is all of us are volunteers here. Usually we have 5 voting members. This evening, there are 4 of us. You must receive 3 positive votes for whatever it is you're coming to the board tonight. You would have to receive 3 votes in favor to have something pass. If you want to wait till the January meeting, if we should have a full board, then you'd have 5 members voting on it rather than 4. Okay? And you can, when your case is called up, you can ask to have your case diverted till next month if you would like 5 full voting members. Okay? First, meetings to approve. Meetings. Minutes to approve from last month's meetings. Do I have a motion to approve the
I'll make that motion.
minutes? Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. This evening, do we have a report by the town council liaison? Not. Okay. Let the record show we do not. Regional impact determinations.
None this evening.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for no regional impact determination? Motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Regional impact accepted. We are now off to our first case. Let's go.
All right, the first case is case number 12-17-2025-1, a request for variance from LZO 4.2.1.3.C.1 to allow encroachment of a deck into the 40-foot front setback. The parcel is located at 20 Ridgemont Drive in the Agricultural Residential Zoning District, Tax Map 003, Lot 181-11. Shannon and Chris Susi, the McSusi Family Revocable Trust, owner and applicant.
Good evening.
How are you this evening?
Welcome.
Thank you. My wife will be here in about 1 minute with all the copies of the drawings.
Okay, so if you
Should we
want,
wait, or-
nope, have a seat and you can state your name and address for the record and we can at least start.
Okay, my name is Christopher Susi. Address is 20 Ridgemont Drive.
And did you bring your, have you ever done this before?
No.
Okay. Did you bring your application that you filled out?
Yes.
Okay. So you're coming before the board for a variance. So the variance will require that the 5 points of law reviewed. Are you the missus?
Yeah, sorry.
Come on up. Go ahead and state your name and address for the record.
Shannon Susi, 20 Ridgemont Drive, Londonderry.
Great. So you will have to go through those 5 points of law. You can start there, or you can tell us a little bit about why you're here and then do the 5 points of law. It's ever, convenient for you.
All right, I guess we'll just start with a quick, I did have a front porch in the front of the house. It was infested with insects that kind of got into the house, so I had to remove it. It was about a 5 foot by 5 foot porch with stairs.
Okay.
So,
Oh, and before we continue, are you okay with having 4 members, not 5, this evening to hear your case?
so we can wait until next month.
You can either present or you can wait till next month, and hopefully we'll have 5 members.
And if you vote no, can we,
So we call this one bite of the apple. When you present your case, that's it. You only have one shot at it, unless there's some information that was not available at the time that you presented and it would have caused a different outcome, potentially a different outcome, then you can come back. But other than that, no.
no, I think we're fine because it's a significant safety hazard, so I think
Okay.
we're fine to move
All
forward.
right, go ahead. You may continue.
Thank you.
So, let's see, one, the variance will not be contrary to public interest. The porch will improve safety by providing proper access to the front door, which currently lacks stairs or landing. It will also match the architectural norms of the neighborhood where all other homes have front porches. This addition supports public safety and neighborhood cohesion. 2, the spirit of the ordinance is observed, is to ensure orderly development and protect neighborhood character. The proposed porch aligns with both goals. It restores a previously existing structure, matches neighborhood homes, and improves safety without encroaching on public space or harming the streetscape. 3, substantial justice is done. Denying variance would prevent homeowner from restoring a necessary and previously existing structure because the house is built by originally too close to the setback. Granting the variance allows the homeowner to make reasonable use of their property without harming others, thereby securing justice. 4, the values of surrounding properties will not be diminished. The proposed front porch will be consistent in style and scale with other porches in the cul-de-sac. It will enhance the appearance and functionality of the home, improving curb appeal and maintaining neighborhood character. Therefore, it will not negatively impact surrounding property values. Let's see. Little enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. No fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provisions and the specific application of the provision to the property, and the home was originally constructed only 40 1/2 feet from the front property line, leaving no room for a front porch under the current zoning regulations. The placement of the house was not chosen by current homeowners and differs from other homes in the neighborhood. The proposed use is a reasonable one. The lack of a front porch and stairs creates a serious safety hazard, making entry and exit impossible. If the criteria of the subparagraph are not established, necessary hardship will be deemed Two, and if only owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, the property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. Little enforcement prevents homeowner from restoring a previously existing and necessary structure. What was that?
Constitutes. This constitutes a necessary structure.
Okay.
Do the board members have any questions of the applicant? All right, I'll start it off. What year is the house?
1982.
1982. And there was a front porch there before? Okay, and it was rotted and it was taken down, and that's why you came before us, because you didn't know before that?
Yeah, it fell down.
Okay.
And then we went to go get the permit, and I can't remember her name, but she was like, "Oh, you have to file a variance," and we were like, "What?" So we just wanted to make sure we were
Okay.
following the rules.
Okay. And in our packets that we see here, I don't see any, I have the house picture that you provided, but I'm not sure where that front porch would be in relation to the picture I see, because it's really not marked.
Okay.
Do you have anything for the board members, so that we know?
It's the same. It's a close-up of the architecture plans, just drawing. So you just had them up before, but it's just showing where the stairs would be.
Oh, okay. And is there a
'Cause
porch
that's
that's
what-
going across, or is it just right at the door?
Right at the door. It's about a 6-foot wide.
Oh, okay, so it's
Or
not,
stairs.
It's not a wraparound porch. It's not
Oh,
a
okay.
farmer's porch. It's just about
so
a
it's
6-foot
just
wide.
stairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we have right now, and then the stairs that were drawn on the architecture plans are what we're planning to do. So just a
Okay.
small 6x6.
Okay, so you can get into the house?
Yeah,
Yes.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that last step's a doozy.
Yeah, it is. Do we have any other questions from the board members? Okay, I'm going to take it out to the audience. Is there anyone in favor that would like to speak on behalf of the applicant this evening? All right, let the record show there are none. Anyone in opposition that would like to speak this evening? All right, let the record show there is nothing. Any more questions from the board?
I did have a question. How far into now you're like, I mean, if we were following the rules, it would be a very narrow, singular step. How far into the front setback are you gonna put the steps?
I'm planning a 6-foot landing and then stairs going out, so it's about 12 feet from the house would be the total. And then, so 26 feet.
Yeah, so still 26 feet of the front setback.
So 26 feet into,
No, 12 feet.
12 feet into,
I guess 11 and a half feet into.
okay.
Right, yeah, true.
Nick, is the steps that were there previously and for code, that's also checked? We don't have to think about that
What do you mean?
for the variance, for how, what's required for steps, how far they can come back, so that we get it right on how far into the setback the steps will go?
If, when he goes to build it, it turns out that he's gonna go further than he's asked for.
Correct?
He could turn the stairs to come down the side.
Okay, okay.
But it'd be best if you overestimate how far you think
So
you're gonna go.
14 feet?
Well, because we just want to make
Sure,
sure,
no,
because
I understand.
these variances are very, they're written so that there's no misunderstanding, and I would hate to have you come back because we didn't ask the right questions.
Sure.
Okay. So you would
We'll say
go
14 feet. yeah.
14 feet? Okay. All right. Any other questions? And same material, you're gonna just stick to something
Yeah.
safe?
Right, so it's gonna be pressure treated frame and then probably composite decking for the surfaces.
Okay. I have no further questions.
I have no further.
Okay, where you're
questions.
gonna go into deliberations, and, do I have a voting sheet in there?
She has.
I have it. Okay. There's the other one I fill out, though. There's one more.
Yeah, I'm not as competent as your other assistants.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find
I
it.
usually have a different secretary here.
This one here?
Yes, thank you.
I'm
Okay.
getting better already.
All right, great.
So would you, when you're ready, read each of them and then read each of the 513.
Okay. So granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because I feel that it would not be contrary to the public interest.
I agree. Because,
Because we're replacing, well, first of all, they have to be able to come in and out of their house.
so the first one, the variance not contrary to the public interest, is it will not alter the character of the neighborhood.
Okay.
Okay, so I agree with that.
I agree.
Okay.
And the spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because,
I would say it would be observed. I would say having steps that lead to your house would be a benefit to the health, safety, and welfare. So it wouldn't impede that. or
Yep,
violate
so,
it.
And it restores the previously existing structure, so.
so the spirit of the ordinance will not violate the basic objectives of protection of health, safety, or welfare. And I
would
agree.
Agree.
granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because,
I say that granting the variance that if we don't grant it, the applicant's loss would be greater than the gain to the public.
I agree.
I agree.
Agree.
For the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties would or would not be diminished because,
I would say would not. I think having a house with an odd floating door is a more likely impediment to the surrounding property values than having a standard set of steps.
I agree.
Agreed.
and owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property because.
Say is not. I did take a ride through that area. It's the only house that's that close to the road, so it's very different than the other houses nearby. That makes it very hard to get out that door unless you go into the,
So the home was
setback.
constructed and was allowed to be constructed exactly where it is today. And the steps being rotted and having to be replaced brings the applicant for variance. So he can't move the house in which to be able to adhere to our variance rules. So this is unique because that's where the house was built.
I would agree. And it's
I
different.
agree.
It's different from the other houses, from what I
I
can
would
tell.
agree.
Alrighty,
Does everyone
and,
else agree?
Yes.
Yep.
sorry. The proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because.
Steps are reasonable.
Yeah.
Ingress and egress.
Easily in and out of house is reasonable.
Reasonable.
I would agree with that.
So do I have a motion?
Do we want to set any conditions like the 14 foot?
Yes, absolutely.
there's some
Conditions
criteria.
will be
14 feet.
14 feet into the setback.
The front setback, yeah.
I'm missing one question here. If the criteria in sub-par are not established.
No, we already
We already
established.
Okay, we
established it,
established that?
yeah,
Okay.
so you don't have to.
All right, so restrictions then is
14,
No more than 14
Yeah.
feet into the front setback.
no greater than 14 feet. Okay,
do I have a motion?
Do you want to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this. Case number 12-17-2025-1.
So what you'd say is approve the requested variance with the,
With the stipulation
good,
that it
Condition.
or condition even better.
be no greater than 14 feet into the setback.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So for the record, your motion was to grant the variance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I always forget that word. You're right, that's the right word. With the condition. And I assume we meant front setback, correct?
I have it down as no greater than 14 feet into the front setback.
Perfect.
Okay, that's how I have it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I take this. I don't even know really what my job is, but
I don't know what's my club.
we'll make it. We'll manage somehow.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Is it an E? You have an E on the end? Okay. There you go, sir. Would you
Sure.
like to read it into record?
Yeah, I
Case
guess,
number.
yeah.
Would you like me to read that? You want me to do that? Because you're doing a lot tonight.
Doing a lot more than I usually do. You want to read it?
It sure is. Case number 12-17-2025-1, request for a variance from LZO 4.2.1.3.c.1 to allow encroachment of a deck into a 40-foot front setback. It has been granted 4-0. You're all set, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Have a good
your time.
night.
So this is the file?
That's the file.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Okay, let me get
Are they in order?
I'm there.
Oh, good.
Okay. So I'll read the next case. Next case is case number 12-17-2025-2. Request for variance from LZO section 4.6.6.5 of the Route 102 Performance Overlay District to allow the use of the property for the construction of 3 single-family residences. The parcel is located at 296 Nashua Road in the Commercial 2 zoning district, tax map 002, lot 25-0. Vigilant Family Properties LLC owner, Leonard Vigilant applicant. Hope I got the name right.
Welcome, and this is not your first time.
That's correct. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Morgan Hollis. I'm an attorney at Gottesman and Hollis, 39 East Pearl Street in Nashua. I'm here representing the applicant, Lenny Vigilant, and the owner, Vigilant Family Properties LLC. My client has determined that he would like to postpone this evening and have a full board.
Oh, okay.
And I apologize to all the people in the audience. We're prepared. We'd like to go, but he would like to, he's also unfortunately ill, so he couldn't be here, but he would like to postpone.
Okay, so that's two cases,
Yes.
which is 12/17/2025, 2, and 12/17/2025, 3.
Yes. and-
Continues for January. You
And
got
if I
it.
might, Madam Chair, ask the chair if I might indulge for a moment to ask if any representative of the association, which isn't a butter, would like to talk to me after the meeting, or ask if I might talk to them. I would like to meet them outside.
Okay, so for the record, the applicant's attorney said that if anyone would like to speak or meet with them, he's willing to speak with you outside, okay? If you have any questions. All right,
Thank you very much. We'll see you next month. Do you know what the meeting date is?
It is
21st.
21st?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you might have to make a motion to postpone to a date certain, so it doesn't have to be
Yeah, okay.
advertised.
So do we have a motion?
I
wanna-
move to, that,
A motion.
I would like to make a motion that we move case number 12/17/25-2, and the other one is
3.
3, to the January 21st meeting, 2026.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're all set.
Thank you very much.
See you then. That's as late as it can be in January.
I don't know what that is.
So do
I don't
you-
know that parcel.
We don't need the voting, we don't need that. We don't need either of these, and we can do both of
Oh,
them.
yes, you're right. See, I don't refer to it as that. Say the flea market.
Just let the room clear, and then I'll call the next case.
Pardon?
I'll let the room
Yeah,
clear. and-
let's clear,
Yeah.
because they were all here for that.
Yeah. I actually like those people. Just nice to see people involved in it.
We live in the Nevins, I live in the Nevins, they live in Hickory Wood.
Yeah, but as long as people are nice and calm and have an opinion, that's great. You know, I'm all for it. Almost clear. I saw the cars and understood what this was about. Okay, we're almost done. I can feel the hush.
Okay, we are now ready to read the next case into the record.
Okay, so now we've got a series of cases, yet they're all related. it
They're all
looks like.
related, yeah.
Yes. All right, so this is,
Yep.
this is case number 12/17/2025-4, a request for variance from LZO 4.3.2.a to allow retail automobile sales operation on a lot under 1 acre and with less than the required frontage on a Class 5 road or better. The parcel is located at 6 Dickey Street in the Commercial 2 zoning district, tax map 010, lot 109, Leon and Tamara Lampus, owner, TF Moran applicant.
All right, please approach whoever is here for this case, please. Good evening. Please state your name and address for the record.
Jason Hill, TF Moran, 48 Constitution Drive, Bedford, New Hampshire.
Tamara Lampus, 36 Lawrence, 6 Dickey Street.
Leon Lampus,
And your address, sir?
6 Dickey Street.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Londonderry Zoning Board. As I said, my name is Jason Hill. We have several cases, all with similar grounds before them, although slightly different. So,
We have 7 for you.
yeah.
Okay.
At your leisure, we would go through them one by one.
Yep, we have to
versus-
start from the top. We have to
Okay.
totally take each one separately, because it's layered, right?
Sure. That's fine.
So, I have did all of you read, the background previous cases for this? Okay,
Did I give you, I'm sorry, this file?
okay.
No, but did I give you this file? I don't know what I did with the file. Did you take the file for this case? No.
Nope.
What did I do? Here it is. All right, forget it. That's what happens when you're new at this stuff.
So what we'll do is, this is very lengthy and has a lot of layers to it. So do you want to give a brief overview why you're here this evening? And we'll start with the first case. That way we don't muddy the waters. We'll just take it slow, okay?
Sure.
There's only 4 of them.
Yeah, and you're okay with 4 of us?
And that's
Not
simple
5?
majority still for,
It's still, you have to get 3.
yeah.
So if you were 5, you'd have to get 3.
Sure.
4, you still have to get 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay proceeding.
Okay.
Thank you. So this, it's on the screen, this project here, which is at 6 Dickey Street. It's, in the dairy locale. It's a property that's zoned, in the commercial district, C2. It's been used over the various past decades in auto sales, service type activities. The community is in the vicinity is a mix of businesses. There's some residential. Essentially, this project is an existing non-conforming lot that has been in existence for decades that is looking to expand their business to include a retail component, which they're currently a wholesale, which means they can't sell to the public. They sell to other dealers and maybe auction conditions and things of that nature. But in order to keep the business viable in the long term, to upgrade their offerings and clientele to include just the retail sector. And the nature of the business won't change in terms of right now you have to call to make an appointment to look at the cars, the cars and trucks. And so you set the appointment up, and it's pretty limited activity in terms of traffic and all that stuff. It's pretty low key. We're not proposing to add employees or expand the use of the building or anything, we're not expecting to increase we're expecting to get more business in the long run, in the near term, but we're not trying to get more traffic out there, a peak traffic like you'd want with a Grapponi type, corporation, type of a traditional, car sales place. So it'll still be appointment only. At the end of the day, this is going to be, there's no proposed change to the structure itself, which is just an old house. And so limited architectural, if any, upgrades. And we're going to dress up the lot. So we have it's non-conforming on all 7 of these counts because the lot's totally used up and has been. And we're going to decrease all of these non-conformities. So in a lot of communities, you wouldn't have to even go to the zoning board if you're not making the non-conformity greater, which we're not doing that. We're going to bring it all back in. We're going to create more green space around the perimeter. We're going to delete. There's a loop road. This has 2 access points. We're going to cut those into 1. So we're going to reduce the access, clean up the curb cut conditions along Dickey Street, provide more green space, move the sheds away from the property line, move much of the existing pavement away from the property lines. However, because the zoning is so intense in terms of the dimensional criteria, you'd basically to redevelop the site new would be undevelopable. You need zoning and relief in almost all cases, just merely because of the front setback in and of itself. So I think this is a pretty nice case for the town because they're going to get a nicely looking, more compliant lot, which will improve the character of the neighborhood and make it more curb appealed. And then at the same time, they're going to get more usage of their business. And like I said, we're not going to overload traffic or anything like that, or community facilities. So you're not going to see really any, it's gonna be an invisible impact, you know, to the usage of the lot, other than what you see on the aesthetic improvements. However, we do need relief because of these 7 criteria. So, that's the nutshell. This is a small lot. It's under, the size of the lot is 0.4 acres. And, so they have perimeter setbacks of 30 feet and front setbacks of 60. And you can see the building rectangle, like, in the middle, like, you're rendered, might as well buy the lot if we can, you know, to try to do something from new would be almost impossible without relief, but we're not there. And then finally, the use of the property being auto sales is a permitted use by right. So we're not here to discuss necessarily the nature of the use because it's a permitted use. We're there for dimensional relief specifically. I just have some support letters. I'll hand out, you can read them, you probably don't have time. We didn't-
So were these part of your packet at the time when
No, they
you?
were not.
They were not. Okay, so we're gonna enter those into as Exhibit A.
These
Okay.
are from a few different butters. You want to share?
Sure.
your
Are
items?
they copies? Are those all copies? Okay, so you can give us each,
This should be copied, right?
Yep,
those are copies, okay.
yep, there's a packet for everyone.
Oh, there's
Okay.
a packet for each of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a pack for each.
I'll
And
mark these.
yeah, because one's gonna be Exhibit A, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. And we'll end up reading those into the record.
Sure. So each of these copies are identical, we hope.
Yes, you all have the same
Okay.
exact packet.
Yep.
So I can go into the first one when you're ready.
Yep, so you hit the 5 points of law.
The first is the frontage and lot area section. I don't know if they were noticed as 2 separate articles or if it's one variance request.
So the first one that we're doing is a variance to allow a retail automobile sales operation on a lot that is under 1 acre.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna only deal with that concept.
Sure.
So we'll start there. And you can do the 5 points of law on that retail sale under a 1 acre lot issue. And then, once you're done that presentation, then we might have questions for you,
It
okay?
does say in that request, it's under 1 acre with less than the required frontage on a class.
It's the
frontage.
same section of the ordinance, so I submitted paperwork on each.
Yep,
So the lot size criteria would be for the existing lot size of 0.4 acres where the 1 acre minimum is required. Now, the first prong would be the public interest, which is handled or met by the fact that the existing automotive sales use is an established use on the property, and it's coexisted for several years, and in going back and historically has been used for automotive repair and other similar uses.
so can I stop you there? So what you're reading and what we see in our packet is different. Do you have what you gave so that you could present what we see on our screens for that?
I don't know what you see.
So, it starts off, the variance would not be contrary to the public interest because Broadway Auto Sales is a long-established use on the property which provides 125.
Oh, that's the, that you're
The
looking at is
application.
the frontage section of that request for minimum frontage, so I'm reading off of the lot size, which would be this. So,
Oh, let me get something.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
that's okay. We're trying to,
Same section, but I just catered this one to the lot.
okay, all right. So ours is in a different rotation than what you're presenting. So I've got it now. It's in the wrong
Sorry about
rotation. So
that.
go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem. So I'm saying that, that the general usage is the automobile sales and service has been in existence over many years, and we're not, without any known adverse impacts to the neighborhood. And we're not proposing to change the nature of that by converting it to retail, because we're not, as I already said, anticipated significant increases in customer traffic. We're going to do by appointment only for meetups, for sales and for visits, for review of the inventory. This will give us greater market exposure for a reasonable return on the investments that they've made, including taxes that they've paid over the years and other things. We won't alter the character of the neighborhood, which is one of the main conditions of that first prong, and it won't threaten public health, safety, or welfare. These site upgrades will actually improve water quality, reduce off-site flow of stormwater, and bring the property into greater conformance with the zoning objectives. So they directly support the public interest by enhancing the environmental protection and ensuring orderly development within this area, this community, and this area of town. The second spirit of the ordinance prong, that the intent of that ordinance is to protect health, safety, and welfare of the community. So these existing uses are consistent with the ordinance. They won't change, as I said, the character of the neighborhood. Therefore, they're consistent with the spirit of the ordinance. They've, it's named Broadway Auto Sales, operated successfully within this property without adverse impacts to surrounding uses, despite the limitations on lot size. Just their business nature, they're not a big enough business to demand a greater land area, given they're limited by what they have available. So those proposed improvements will enhance the site by providing paved parking, again, stormwater management system, improving environmental features, reducing potential impacts to the neighboring properties by stormwater, and improving the aesthetics by providing some screening. The development will considerably improve the aesthetics and the curb appeal of the property, which is the intent of the zoning objectives. And again, it won't alter the essential character of the neighborhood. So for these reasons, we meet the prong number 2 spirit. The third prong would be substantial justice. That means that the hardship to Leo and Tamara would be, if the denial is given, if it's denied, would be outweigh any harm to the public. So we contend, and it's supported by the letters, there will be no harm to the public by the granting of the variance, while as if they are denied, they will actually be harmed is by precluding this business opportunity and growth, restricting reasonable use of the property, and then making positive site improvements for themselves and the community, investing more money, in the project. So we're going to go to the planning board, by the way, after this, and they're going to look at this stuff too. You might be aware of it, but we have to go to the planning board if we're successful.
With zoning, we are very limited to what it is that we can interact with you, because planning does something
Sure.
totally different than us, okay?
I just wanted to make that a point so you're
We're well
aware.
aware of what we can and cannot do.
I just want to make sure that you're aware this has to be followed up by a site plan
Oh,
submission.
absolutely. There's
Okay,
a lot
so you know.
beyond us.
No problem.
We're nothing.
Okay.
I mean,
No,
we're part of
no
this first
disrespect.
process,
No
but
disrespect,
there's a
absolutely.
bigger picture
Yep.
after us.
Okay, and then, so the fourth point would be the property diminution clause. So the upgrades will increase the value of the property for obvious reasons, and therefore not be expected to reduce the value of the property and the surrounding properties. And so for those reasons, I contest that we will be meeting the fourth prong, and then the fifth prong, part A, is what we're submitting, which is the literal enforcement of the provisions result in an unnecessary hardship. And then for the purposes of this discussion, we're owing that special conditions of the property, distinguishing it from other properties in the area, result in that no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purpose of the ordinance and the specific application of that provision on this property. So the purpose of the minimum lot size is to require that properties have sufficient area to support their use, have adequate setbacks, protect health, safety, welfare. In this case, the existing dealership has functioned on this site without negative impacts for many years. That demonstrates the property is capable of supporting that use, which we're not proposing to increase the intensity of. So these improvements that we're proposing further ensure that the site meets the intent of the ordinance, and therefore no fair and substantial relationship exists to this ordinance's purpose. I mean, this is a grandfathered lot. That's not grandfathered, but it's an existing lot that has been, over the years, subjected to zoning changes, and we're effectively reducing the impact and making it more nearly conforming. So it has some unique characteristics in and of itself. And the use is reasonable because it's the nature of the what's going on there is not proposing to change substantially. And that would be the fifth condition where I submit to you.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, or can I start this off, or?
You could tee it up.
Okay. All right. First and foremost, when did you purchase this property?
2013
Approximately.
2013 or 2014.
Okay. Prior to that, it was a different automotive operating company that was there.
Can I put it this way?
You were not there prior to,
No.
okay, so you just purchased this property in 2013.
And when we purchased it, there was a gentleman in the garage working.
Okay. You were previously doing wholesale and you like to do retail. How many cars do you have for sale at your business?
15, 20 cars.
Okay. How many trucks do you have?
Cars and trucks together.
Okay. What size trucks do you go up to?
Half tons.
Only half tons?
Oh, yeah.
So if you were to have 20, how many cars in relations to trucks do you think you generally would sell? Or have on your lot, not sell, but have on your lot at any one time? Do you do more cars? Do you do more trucks? Do you do 10?
More cars.
Cars?
More cars. And like antiques also.
How many employees do you have?
Myself and my 2 boys.
Okay, so it's family run? Are you anticipating on hiring any more employees?
Nope.
What are your operating hours?
10 to 5.
10 a.m. to
5
5
p.m.
p.m.? What days?
Monday to Friday.
No weekends?
Saturday half days.
What's a Saturday hour?
10 to 2.
Any other questions before?
A question.
I have
I have one.
Go ahead.
Do you anticipate having more cars once you go from Wholesale to retail,
Same amount of cars.
same amount of cars. So that could be a restriction.
Okay. So when you switch from wholesale to retail, I heard it said that nothing was gonna change in terms of if I wanted to buy a car, I can't pull up and knock on the door and say, hey, I'd like to look at the car. It's gonna be appointment only the same way. Okay. Nick, I had a question for you, or a couple of questions, and I know I always put you on the spot. So if they were staying in the wholesale business, would they need to come here? What would be the reason they would be here?
Well, there was a dispute over whether they needed a site plan or not. Londonderry zoning says they need a site plan. They said, no, we bought this, we're grandfather, we don't need a site plan. So we had a fight over that. But now that he's changing the use, there's no argument. He needs a change of use site plan.
Okay. But they were, like, were they grandfathered? How'd they get approval? Like, if the land is too small, I assume it's too small for wholesale. If the frontage is too small, how did they get the ability to sell wholesale?
If you want, Nick, the previous cases, it was, site plans were requested and have been requested the whole time.
Right.
And previous to this, the last owner, so the previous case to this site, they were not granted.
So they've been operating when they shouldn't have been?
That's why they're here.
Can I
For
interrupt for a
retail.
moment, please?
Okay.
So we were, in order to get your retail license from the state, your wholesale license, you need to get the approval from the code enforcement officer, which, in order for us to get a license to operate, you have to have his signature. He gave us his signature to operate a wholesale, and we were told at that time that we did not need a site plan for a wholesale business. And that is why
Took us a while to get here.
it took us a while to get here, because we have been working to try, back around 2020, and Jacqueline, I think you were
Well,
on
first
the
of all,
board at the time.
We had, cost us a lot of money for the engineering. So we had to make the money to get the engineering firm to pay, to come to the site plan. So
So,
it takes money,
so do you have a license for wholesale or retail now?
wholesale.
Wholesale.
So you do have a license for wholesale, and then by going
We
through
have
this
had one.
process, if you were approved here and at the planning board, in theory, you would have enough to get a retail license. Okay. Nick, did,
Richard, the previous building inspector, zoning officer, he told them that he approved of them having a wholesale business, but they weren't supposed to have cars on the site or customers on the site.
okay.
So then there was a disconnect.
It's been documented.
Could I ask one other thing? So this is because this is one of those commercial places that is right on the edge, like if you go down the street, it looks residential and then,
Next door is Friendly Reds Tavern.
right. That's when you get to 102, right?
When they're busy, they park on the street, up
Right.
and down the street. Behind us is the Auto Auction of New England.
Right.
Who's gonna be doing parking lot there also.
Right.
And,
But like if you go further up the street, it looks like it's residential to
go
me.
up the
Yeah,
street.
there's
But
like
then they have the,
4 houses.
they have, further up the street, they have the big giant commercial building.
Okay.
What's that place, the antique place? They have they selling marble countertops and stuff.
So the C2's,
Behind there's gonna be another parking lot that the Auction of New England is doing
Right.
at the end of the street.
so this C2 zone that we're in, I think Mr. DeFrancisco on the planning board said it correctly. He said, at one time, somebody, whoever was jurisdiction at that time, decided to do these small C2 lots, these commercial 2, which were originally designed for traffic, for not people walking, but people driving. And he said that they are still unraveling these spot zoning mixed uses. And I feel like our property is unique in that because we are in a residential neighborhood, but we operate our business in a way that is very respectful to our neighbors. And, you know, what our proposal is not to change anything. We're not building anything, we're not changing anything. We want to keep it, what we need is a different license, which will help us financially, because this has been a financial burden for us, having to appease a lot of different
It
entities.
also serves a public purpose in the fact that you're another place to get a car, so there's a public good being served at the same time.
So, hey, Nick, I had one other question. I don't know if you can answer. If I bought their property and was no longer going to operate, what could I put there without coming to the zoning board from a commercial perspective, based on the lot size? And the,
What could you put there?
yeah, like, could I operate any commercial business without coming to?
Well, you're a lawyer, you could put your office there.
But I mean, I could do that in a home, you know, occupation too. But,
Anything that would fit within the setbacks.
okay.
And you
Yeah,
can-
because I was trying to figure out if anything would, from a commercial perspective. Like like I wouldn't be an acre, right? It's not an acre lot,
No,
so.
it's less than an acre,
Yeah, if
So-
the building,
less than a half acre.
In our C2s, here's everything that is permitted in the C2s. Okay, so financial institution, a
Right,
funeral
right, no,
home.
I've seen it.
blah,
I just
blah,
didn't know if all of those require like a 1 acre,
Convenience
which then
stores.
they'd still need a variance to operate, right?
Well, you asked, what could you put in a C2?
No, but without seeking a variance in their lot.
Depends what,
Well, but if it's not.
so it's a layer,
But if it
right?
doesn't meet the requirements, I can't put it in anyway without a
but
variance.
we're actually not proposing, the use is as I understand, the primary use is permitted by right, by the zoning ordinance.
Okay,
So we're
but,
talking about dimensional relief.
so
or-
that's where we're gonna
That's what
stay
I'm
right
saying.
now, because we got 7
That's
to
what I'm
go
saying.
through
But,
here.
but these are all, this applies to all of them.
Automotive
I'm not gonna ask
sales
the
and
same
service is
question each
permitted by
time.
right in the C2 district outright.
I'm just trying to get a baseline until I understand.
Yeah,
The other thing I'd like to add is, my husband and I, when we went to purchase the property, we asked the realtor, we asked the town, can we sell automobiles here? Can we do this? It says that we could sell cars. Car sales are permitted here. And they said yes. Then after
And
we,
they did say, yes, you could park cars there also, because one of the questions that we did ask, can we park the cars there with the wholesalers? Yes, you may.
but also,
Not on paper, but verbal. Colleen Maylock said it, Vic,
she asked us where we wanted to put the lines. It's not like we've been doing this behind anybody's, you know, believe me.
and we're trying to comply.
And we're trying to comply. But I also would like to say to you, those codes that you're looking at, it doesn't say, it doesn't say,
Auto sales,
auto
wholesale.
sale
It
or
says
wholesale, it
auto
just says
sales.
auto sales. So
Right.
we had no way of knowing until after we were knee-deep into it that there
Well,
is
they
there was a
originally wanted
difference.
Site plan and engineering costs. You know, we just purchased the property, young family. We needed some time to get to the site plan. And we did come before the town 2018 with the site plan. And our engineer was older, retired, and COVID hit, and we took it easy.
Well, and I was just gonna say, so this was what I was, this is the particular one they're looking for. So they can't put anything without getting a variance, because it can't be less than an acre, and they don't have an acre.
correct.
So no matter what they wanted to put on that lot, they would need a variance. But anyway, that was what I was trying to understand, if maybe I was missing something. Okay, I'm done.
Any other questions?
I'm done
Okay.
for now.
You stated 20 vehicles, cars, trucks, no greater than half-ton for the pickups. That's what you would like.
Correct.
If you were granted the variance to have less than the 20 count.
How many?
We don't know. We got to go through all the
Let me tell you,
the questions
20
first.
cars,
So that's my question to you.
20 cars is maximum, and 20 cars is a lot, especially in the winter.
Yeah, it is.
Clean them, move them. So 20 maximum is yes, but will we ever have 20 max there? Maybe not. We might only have 10 or 15 at a time, but you asked how many would we like? Gotta start somewhere, right?
You always do,
Gotta start somewhere.
right at the beginning. Do you have any lit signs when
No
you're
lit s-
open?
No lit signs. No big lights, no big signs,
No streamers.
strict,
And you stated that you would make appointments to see cars, even though you're retail? So I couldn't, if I wanted to buy a car from you on a Saturday between, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, I'd have to call you. I couldn't come and just get a car from you as a retail?
Usually we advertise on the internet, and people have to call to see where the place is. No drive-bys. That's a little size. We're not looking to change the landscape of the neighborhood at all. We don't advertise with an address. We just advertise with a phone number.
Okay, any questions? Okay, I'm gonna take it out to the audience. Anyone that would like to speak in favor of the applicant, please approach, state your name and address for the record.
Want to take your seat? Good evening. Thank you. Wayne McDonald, I live at 11 Dickey Street, directly across from 6 Dickey Street.
Okay.
And I'm speaking in favor. This family has been they've been great neighbors, very considerate of the neighborhood, as has been indicated. Early, I can't remember the exact year, but I remember, and Debbie, how do you pronounce your last name?
Lampus.
Lampus. And Mrs. Lampus, Mr. Lampus, I was out chopping ice off my front steps one Saturday morning, and they came over. I hadn't met them yet. They had recently moved and settled in there. And they were very, they just wanted to introduce themselves. And they made it clear from the very beginning they didn't want to have too many cars over there. They didn't want to disrupt the neighborhood. And they haven't done that. They've been great neighbors. My family has owned that property at 11 Dickey Street since 1956. And to the engineer's point, and of course, I was quite young in 1956. I'm not quite young now, I'm afraid. But most of my memory from when my family has owned it, and currently I'm the owner, it's been a car-related business. So that is absolutely correct. And the neighborhood is very used to, that kind of activity over there. It's never been a problem with any of the neighbors, to my knowledge, and I'm not presuming to speak for anyone but myself, but it's never been a problem. That whole side of the street, as my understanding, is zoned commercial anyway. 3 out of the 5 structures on that side of the street are commercial. There's only 2 that are not. But what the descriptions of the way it's being described, it will be an enhancement to the neighborhood if they were to make those changes as they're indicating. And right now it fits in fine, and it's never been a problem, and I wholeheartedly support what they want to do. I think it would be great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there anyone else in favor that would like to speak on behalf of the applicant?
They're our family.
They can speak.
You want to speak?
I do have,
Okay. Okay, anybody in opposition that would like to speak? Let the record show there was no one in opposition. Would you like to read the letters that were labeling Exhibit A?
I'm going to write with pencil. You're not Suzanne. You won't yell at me. Okay, and I think we have a letter from Mr. McDonald here as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll start with that one since that was on the top. I, Wayne D. McDonald, upon oath hereby state and depose as follows. One, I have lived at 11 Dickey Street, Londonderry, New Hampshire since the age of 2, having a date of birth of September 6, 1954. I have retired from the state of New Hampshire from the position of welfare fraud investigator, where I served for 23 years. I currently serve the town of Londonderry as an elected state representative to the New Hampshire General Court. 4, to the best of my recollection, and ever since I was a child, the 6 Dickey Street property, now owned by Leo and Tammy
Lampus?
Lampus, okay, I'm gonna try to remember that.
It's all right.
Has been used as a commercial automobile repairs and auto sales business. 5, I recall the Madden family operated the site for many years, first Dan Madden, followed by his son George Madden. 6, Dan Madden and his family resided in the house and operated the business from the garage behind the house. 7, thereafter, Kenneth Hamblett and then a man named Harold Laundrie took over the operations. 8, Mr. Harold Landry was still operating the car business when Leo and Tammy Lampus purchased the property from Dorothy Wilkes. And then I have a signature on it, and a notary stamp. The next letter, to whom it may concern, I am writing this letter in support of my neighbors, owners of Broadway Auto Sales LLC, located at 6 Dickey Street, immediately adjacent to my property. Leon and Tamara Lampus and their 2 sons, Harry and Yanni, have been exceptional neighbors since I relocated to the area in 2022. This family-owned business maintains the positive aspects of small-town living in that they are respectful of neighbors, friendly and conversational, and clearly dedicated to preserving the integrity of the neighborhood. They are considerate of neighbors, keeping their work and any associated noise and activity to reasonable hours. Further, they go out of their way to support their neighbors. For instance, when a severe winter storm damaged my fence in my first year here, Leo and his sons arrived, having not even met me yet, and fixed the fence. I am deeply grateful for this act of kindness. The Lampus family and their dedication to their business and to the neighborhood most definitely add value to Dickey Street. Recently, a land survey revealed that the fence separating my property from the property owned by Broadway Auto Sales was mistakenly installed slightly further into my property line than it should have been. Rather than moving the fencing, I have given my verbal approval to the Lampus family that I'm happy to sell this land to them so they can add it to their property's total square footage. We also discussed the Lampus' hope to include a retail license to their business. As a neighbor who sees the value of having Broadway Auto Sales in the neighborhood, I support this licensing change as it will allow Broadway Auto Sales to grow their business. If you have any questions about anything I included in this letter of support, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'm available most days at, should I read the phone numbers?
No.
Okay, very good. That's what I thought.
Yep.
This letter is in reference to property at 6 Dickey Street in Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. In the fall of 1962, while attending NHTI, I started a part-time job at F&W Rambler on Birch Street in Derry, New Hampshire, preparing cars for resale. Cars that required bodywork or painting was performed by George Madden at 6 Dickey Street. On occasion, when Mr. Madden was backed up with work, F&W Rambler would send me to help him. I would mask off cars that were from F&W Rambler, preparing them for George Madden to paint. I worked there off and on for about 2 years. In November, my wife and I purchased a home on Linwood Avenue in Derry, 1 street over from Dickey Street. In June of 1994, my son and my wife purchased the apartment house directly across the street from 6 Dickey Street. There was an automotive repair shop there. Either in 1995 or 96, Kenneth Hamblett opened an automotive repair shop at that address. In fact, I had my Blazer repaired by Ken. The property was originally owned by the Madden brothers that picked up trash around Derry for many years. After that, there's always been some type of automotive business at that location. The present owner of the automotive business prepares cars and trucks for resale at another location. The owner appears to care about the neighborhood. They are very quiet in their operation, and they are more than welcome to the neighborhood. Signed, Richard E. Boulette, 4 Linwood Avenue, Derry, New Hampshire. And that is the last.
Okay. Do you have another location where you store your excess vehicles that are for sale?
We have a location at Crystal Ave, Derry, with a retail license there.
Okay. And the Dickey Street has just as many cars as your other location? Because you have two locations?
Yep, the other location, we have just a few cars there.
Is it a larger, do
It's a
you?
larger parking lot there. on
okay.
Crystal Ave,
Okay.
But
Okay.
we don't like that location. We rent there. We bought this property to have retail there, so.
Okay. Any other questions? So we'll just focus on under 1 acre with less than the required frontage. So do you have any questions on that with what you've heard? No. No questions?
I don't think I have any more.
And well, like we said, when we bought the property, there was a gentleman, Harold Laundry, that was renting the shop in the back. And at the time, we let him stay for a few years, but he was too noisy for the neighborhood. So we asked him to leave, and he was there for many years. 10, 12 years he was there. He cried. We told him he had to leave. That's how much he loved that place.
So you are aware that coming for a variance, this stays with the land, okay? It stays with this property. So regardless if you are the owners from now to whenever, or you sell it, it's gonna stay with the land, okay?
It's for them. They're young.
So I guess I'm gonna go back to my previous question. For the amount of cars or automotive trucks, 1 tons, half tons, that you would be selling at this location. 20 is a large number, and you have a very small lot. You also have a building in which you're trying to run your business from that takes space. So again, now everything starts to crowd in. So the first variance has to address the size of your lot, which is under the 1 acre, and less than the required frontage. So now your vehicles that you have in this parcel then are even closer to the road, right? Because they can't meet the setback. So
I have a question.
yes.
Can you show on that exactly where the cars are parked? I went by and I didn't see a heck of a lot of cars there.
No, and
You don't see them.
it's a unique little piece of property, and you have to pull in to see
Right.
what it is.
But show her on the drawing.
Yeah, can you do it on this one over
Can you
here,
show
though?
Harry?
Yeah, this one over
This
here.
one over here, because we can't see that.
Can you show them, Harry?
Oh, well.
So the cars are parked along here, over to the garage. Just basically this area right here. So they're way off the road. You know, you have to pull in up the hill if you drove by to be able to see them. We have them tucked, you know, all the way almost up over here.
I couldn't see the cars when I moved. Thank you.
Nick, did you have anything to add?
I think if you grant the variance, you'll have to make sure that you word it so that you're giving them a variance up to 20 cars, but they're gonna have to satisfy planning. When they go to planning is gonna see where they're gonna park, if they're gonna have pavement under them. for the size of the parking. So they've got to get through planning, but you want to make sure that planning doesn't look and think zoning just gave them a variance for 20 cars, so we have to allow it.
So basically,
You can say up to, but then say according to the planning.
correct. So that's why I am toying with the amount of units, I'll call them units, okay? Because we're not gonna say so many cars, so many trucks.
Right.
We don't want to pigeonhole you like that. So we're very careful with our language.
Very good.
But we don't want to do something here that is going to cause you not to be able to fulfill the next step when you leave to go to planning,
We appreciate that.
okay? So we could create a mess for you, and that's why we're hashing out so many things here for you. And we're only on number one, and we have six more to go. So this first one sets the stage on how everything else sort of is going to start to roll, okay, after this. So my concern is not to give you an excessive amount of units for your small parcel, which will then never allow you to be able to fulfill what planning is asking of you. And then you fail,
Right.
okay? You have another location, you're renting that, you prefer this one, and the amount that you're asking for this small package is too many. But you have to start somewhere. The space to park 20 cars and/or pickup trucks, SUVs, whatever you want to call them, is twice as much as probably what can be handled in that parcel. So, your testimony about that swing where you're coming in two ways and you're going to take one of those out, and your presentation for removing some sheds that are on the property, your presentation looks like you've got green space buffer. The amount of vehicles will be what drives your success here, okay? You're gonna go for retail, and people are calling to make an appointment. You don't have lit signs. You don't have any employees other than your immediate family, 2 sons. And Dad, you probably should let the sons just do the rest of the work, okay? So there's probably only 2 of them there. You're operating Monday through Friday. You're not there on Sundays. You're not starting at 7 a.m. You're starting at 10 in the morning, and you're only working till 5. And I believe that you're going to be very successful. And I think that you're probably going to outgrow this property with that success. I just want to be careful that we do this first step the right way so that we can get this right out the gate. So I'm going to go back to that question. 10 units, not 20, but 10 at any one time there.
The parking calculations on the site plan that was submitted show that this design provides 16 parking spaces, plus the garage, not including the existing garage to be maintained. So this package is, we can, that's within proposed dedicated parking areas, that conform to the local standards. So we're proposing 16 spaces for parking on this plan that we're discussing here today.
Which is the ones that are being sold, not the people coming to look at them.
It's 16 total spaces.
16
Plus
totals.
whatever the existing garage is, if there's any
So,
parking.
which is, that sounds great, but you have people coming, and you also have 2 workers. I'm gonna take Dad out. So we have 2 workers, they gotta park. So let's keep, a realistic number here.
All right, we'll settle for 15.
Can I,
Yes.
and Nick, you might, I was trying to figure out if we said something like, and this is the lawyer in me, right? A reasonable amount to be determined by the planning board, or if none is determined by the planning board, then no more than blank cars and blank trucks. So we're telling the planning board, we're looking for you for final word, but if you, for some reason, forget about it, we as the zoning board are setting a number that we're comfortable with. I don't know, does that make sense?
Like a lawyer.
That's total lawyer,
Right.
Yeah,
total lawyer.
very good.
So I don't know if that, and then we can pick, then we figure out what we feel comfortable with the number, and if he thinks it's low, he can try to convince planning of more, and if they think
Well,
it's
no,
high.
because variance,
I don't know, would variance?
Could you set a max?
But if we say no, we'll
We do a
defer to the
max.
blown.
we usually do
But if
max.
we say we'll defer to the planning board, but if they don't decide anything different, then they could do more,
Well, okay, so,
I think,
Or they can do less.
but,
or less, correct?
Less.
or they could do less, because it's less than an acre.
No, it's less than
It's-
half an acre.
It's less than half an acre, so
Not,
we're already behind the 8 ball with just room in general. Never mind the garage,
not
never
to
mind,
exceed- Not to exceed no more than 30 cars.
Yeah.
I have a
Here's a
question.
lawyer.
Yes.
Is this a dwelling?
No,
It's just used for business purpose?
Office.
Nobody lives there?
no.
Okay, so the only cars, in addition to the ones that you're selling, are from the folks that work there, coming into work? And the occasional
customers.
client, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I
Okay,
guess, do we
well,
want to think of a number? I mean, we haven't even voted yet,
Yeah,
really,
no.
so we don't know
So
yet.
I have no more questions, and are no more
Nope.
questions? Okay. And take it back out to the audience one more time, if anyone has any opposition or would like to speak on behalf of the applicant. Okay, let the record show no one on either side. At this time, we're gonna close and go into deliberations. All right, so we have to hash out, to allow the retail sales operation, so let's focus on that. It's gonna be a retail sales operation business that is less than the 1 acre, it's a .4, and it's less than the required frontage, so they don't even have that, everything's just sort of right there at the road, okay? So, the question of the day about allowing this is about how many how many units could be stored there that are for sale to be sold as retail, what that looks like. The questions answered. The spirit of the ordinance, the character of the neighborhood, it's unique. We've got C2, we've got residential. We have a .4, something that's not, we don't see this. This
Right.
is not normal. The planning board will take care of safety issues, because that's not in our purview. It's not in our purview what is to be put on there, so they're gonna handle that. But we have to make sure that the 5 points of law on our side here is being met,
Yes.
okay? Just so that we have a clear focus on what it is that our job here tonight is for this one.
And to your point, we always have to remember that they could sell it next month to somebody completely different, and they would have the same variance. And so we're
Correct,
granting a variance to the property, really,
because
not
it
the people.
stays with the land.
Right.
Right. So we have some very responsible business owners here. But it stays with the land. It doesn't stay with the owner, okay? So that has to be kept in mind.
Jacqueline,
They're in deliberation.
Alternatively, though, they are operating there, and if we voted it down, they, in theory, from what I can tell, would be operating a wholesale.
But they don't want, they're here for retail.
Correct. No, but I'm saying, without the variance, they can operate a wholesale, there is what I've heard.
And are there any limitations on the number of wholesale cars they can have there? Right now,
I don't know. Nick?
Nick?
They were told they could run a wholesale business there, but they couldn't have cars on site until they have a site plan.
Okay, so that's the site plan
Site
issue.
plan, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So that, and that's where
So that,
it's stemming,
Right, right,
free.
yes, yes, I get it.
So, planning board will do site plan, they'll do all of that, okay? What is reasonable for retail? We have to do a maximum, because a minimum amount is not required, so a maximum amount of units, I'll call them cars and/or half-ton pickups. Because we start, if they're, and that's why I asked the applicant what he actually sold, because what if he has a tractor-trailer that he wants to sell?
School bus.
Okay, or a school bus, or
Or a
a,
motorcycle.
or, motorcycle, all right, but it's the big stuff, right? Because we're talking about, it's a small footprint, so now, we just have to word this correctly, okay?
Right, and then we also have the issues, they gave us times, which
Yep.
we would want to add. Appointment only, I think, should be part of what we say, not a.
Well, I don't think Nick's gonna have enough time to police that.
The
The
neighbors
town
will police
has
it.
we don't have enough resources to police
But I live in town.
the appointment only. So,
Well, we could add it as a condition. I think it would, I don't know.
we have no way to, because it's retail, right? It's a retail. I mean, that's nice. That's how they operate, and that's part of their story. And on how they run their business, which this is why we ask a lot of questions, because our paperwork is very one-dimensional. So, does anybody have any thoughts about the number of units?
I was just gonna, I liked my language, of course, because that was my language, and I was gonna say 6 and 6, but that was just the way I went. And figured again, the planning could say, that's still too much for this property.
6 and 6 wouldn't.
Trucks, under a certain
Do we
size.
really want to put a stipulation on what kind of vehicles they have there?
And
You know,
I can be
why can't
sold.
you just
I
call
was
them
just arbitrary
vehicles?
making it up.
Well, it's tricky saying vehicles.
How
because a
about
bus is a
units?
vehicle.
I liked when you kept saying units.
Yeah.
What
Or we
about
could-
unit?
Maybe go by the weight of the vehicle.
Well, that's hard.
That's really hard, and we would, the applicant, testified that he doesn't sell anything more than half-ton pickups.
Right.
Half tons. We won't even say pickups, we could say no greater than, half-ton units.
That's,
And then that just,
I think if you stick to units, because what if they did want to sell a trailer that would fit in a parking space? You know, I mean, why can't you limit it to they have 16 parking places plus a garage that would hold 2, you know? I mean, they specifically show that they don't show and specifically had size of 16 units.
but as a retail automotive sales business, they could sell the tractor with the trailer. They could do that. It's not gonna fit in that little parcel, but he could try.
But again, the next person who owns it might try harder.
Correct. So we have to be careful on our language.
Right.
All right.
They also had this set of plans in this particular file, but not the others. Should we make it an exhibit to all the files? Yeah, I mean, you can't copy it easily. Or
Again,
yeah, I don't know.
this is for planning.
All right, I'm not worried about it. There's very little I worry about.
We just have to concentrate on the variance part.
Okay.
So we do have a very unique situation here. So I guess we all agree about, I think, some of the other things. We can flush that out when we do the 5 points of law. But I think we all agree that it's just about the number of units, because it really doesn't, we want to establish that right out the gate for our first variance as a condition.
Right.
Okay. I recommend that there shall be a maximum of 10 cars or trucks no greater than a 1-ton. So a 1-ton could be like an F-350. That's a 1-ton.
You know more about cars than me.
Okay. Or, you know,
So a total of 10?
a total of 10. With-
Why? I think that's,
So you could have, because they could have 10 cars or trucks, no greater than, the trucks shall be no greater than a 1-ton. The cars could be smaller cars, the cars could be some bigger cars.
I just don't understand the number 10. I think I feel like that's really limiting them when they've gone out of their way to make sure they had at least 16 parking spaces.
Correct, but if we do the number too high, they can't meet the requirements in planning. We might actually harm them by doing that.
How about no greater than?
No greater than.
How about no greater than 15?
This is fun.
No greater than 15.
I don't think 15 is even gonna fit, just from what I saw and how, a .4.
Jason, you have that?
Okay,
I didn't like my language.
so,
You have the guys there?
so,
I don't think it's, I can talk.
I could be convinced either way. I couldn't tell looking at that property how many vehicles they could fit. So I would just be arbitrarily giving a number.
Well, they do have a plan that has 16 parking spaces on it.
Right.
16 parking spaces.
but all we're concentrating on is about how it doesn't meet because of the size of the lot and less than the required frontage. So how many units the applicant is looking to seek so that he can operate his retail automotive sales business is what we have to establish first. Because everything else is gonna ride on all the other variances we're gonna hear.
Yep. I just think that we're really eliminating them unnecessarily, but that's just me.
But they also have 6 other variances that we're going to hear that may conflict with the amount of units that are gonna be placed in this parcel. So we have to think about that, the amount of units.
But if you set the amount of units, pardon my ignorance around it, but if you set the amount of units now, all those other variances are stuck with that amount of units. Correct? Correct?
I guess what your question is, the other units could disqualify the other variances because they can't meet it.
I thought, she seems to be saying that if we come out of the third case and say, oh, there's much more room than we thought, we could put more cars, but now we've already set a limit in the
Right,
first.
that's what I'm saying. If you've
So-
already settled on the 9, and you may find the other variances would allow you to put 20 cars there.
But the applicant come back for additional units rather than having too many units established and then they can't meet planning. They can always come back to ask for more units because they have whatever, I don't know what the future is. They could always come back and ask for
More units.
more units.
Fair enough.
Do you see where I'm going with
Yeah,
this?
and we could, I mean, I also wonder if we, like I was trying
Because
to,
there's a lot going on here.
I was trying to think, like, do we really need to have the exact same conditions on all of them? We just put it on the last one, because if it fails, they didn't get a variance anyway. I
Well,
don't know what the normal
no.
style is.
Yeah, and we can't do that because we have to hear each variance independently. Yeah,
I agree.
so we have to establish that on the very first one. So the applicant can always come back for more, but if he gets too much that we may or may not, because we haven't voted, we may grant, may cause this applicant not to be able to meet anything else after he leaves here.
Well, I mean,
So we have to be careful.
Yeah, I
Nick,
understand that, but planning can also adjust that.
but Nick, in your experience, maybe you don't know, but could planning say, they said 12, this can easily hold 14, as long as we said that we would accept.
Up to.
I don't know, I don't go to very many planning boards, but I know they usually don't tell you you can ask for more. They usually look at what you've asked for.
Okay.
But if the planning board receives a,
Recommendation.
It's not a
receives a presentation to them that they're gonna do X, Y, and Z, and it substantiates that it can hold more, the planning
And they could come
board
back here.
would come back, they'd say, just go get another variance so that you can have X cars.
If that's the case, then I think we pick a number we're all comfortable with, whatever that is.
Correct.
And then
And we don't overshoot.
And we don't overshoot, and then understanding, and if planning says 12, they could have 40, which we know they're not
Yeah,
gonna do. But-
whatever
right,
whatever
it is.
happens, yeah,
Then
whatever
they can come
happens.
back here and say, hey, we want to have more, planning said we could do it.
Can we do up to a certain amount? Because, and I understand saying coming back, but coming back is a hardship for applicants. Keep coming back.
But it's
hardship
more
for
of a
the-
hardship if everything crumbles because they have something that is, first of all, it goes with the land. So this land cannot take 20 cars,
I'm not saying 20 cars.
you know?
I'm
So,
saying compromise on up to 15.
You were saying 10. So I like my 12,
And if you say up to,
12 and a half.
then it gives planning the leeway to adjust that lower if they want to adjust it lower. But if we say 10, we've already boxed them in at 10. And I know 2 more doesn't sound like much, or 3 more, but it is if you're trying to establish a retail business. And I know I'm not the expert, and you only have to put up with me for, this is the last meeting you have to put up with
I'm
me.
the lowest expert in this. A number of cars that would fit on that property, I have no idea. So,
Well,
do we want to go, I mean,
The
do we-
plan that, allows for 16. I'm assuming that those are regulation parking spaces.
We don't know, because it hasn't gone to the planning board. They have to come here first.
Okay.
So that's just a conceptual.
But they're architectural ones, right?
Should we-
Right.
Should we go through the 5 points, see if we get there? Because
Yeah.
right now, we could fail. I mean, we don't know.
Okay, we want to go right into 5 points of law
Well, I
then?
mean, we can discuss it more.
I just wanted this out in the open, so that way we could know where the hangup is, so that we could think about that.
I think there's been a lot of thinking clearly in discussion. I just don't, we have to come up with a solution. If it passes.
If it passes.
Then we need a solution.
Okay,
And we'll have to compromise and figure out
and
what
then
we're
we
all
can figure it
comfortable
out.
with. Yeah, I think.
And that's what the
We've never
condition.
had a struggle, this much of a struggle
No,
over a condition,
we've
which
never
is
had
good,
anything
which
unique
is
like
good.
this.
It's a good conversation.
All right,
All right. I'm ready if you are.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because.
I say it would not. It doesn't alter the character of the neighborhood.
Right. And if you drive by that area, I do not believe any of the structures on that street, I don't, and I have no guarantee, but they're mostly very close to the front. So it fits the character of the neighborhood.
So the character of the neighborhood is, it's-
Out of zone.
it's C2, it's residential, and
Right,
it's got a lot of uniqueness to begin
right,
with.
so, yeah.
So I
Most-
don't think it would alter.
Yeah, most of the people are saying this is the part of the
This is the
character.
character of this neighborhood. It's,
Right.
it's very
That's the way I read
unique
that.
and bizarre. So I don't think so. Do we all agree?
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
The spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because.
I don't think it affects the health, safety, or welfare.
Yeah, if anything, it might improve it. It's assuming they make the changes that they're proposing.
I
agree.
I agree as well, that it does not violate protection of health, safety, or welfare.
And granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because.
I would say it would. I think the loss to the applicant would be greater than a gain to the public.
Doesn't place any burden on any other public things.
So I agree that the loss is greater to the applicant than outweighed by gain to the public.
And for the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties would or would not be diminished.
It'd be improved, probably.
Yeah, I would say would not.
Yeah,
I don't think there'd be a negative change by this change.
I agree because of the character of the neighborhood as it exists today.
Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because, excuse me, one, there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property because.
It would be a hardship.
So you're saying
So
it's
there
not.
is not.
Right, that's what she's saying. I agree with that. This is very tiny property that's zoned commercial.
Yeah, it's an approved C2,
Yep,
so let's state that for the record.
yep,
It's a .4
yep,
for acreage.
yep.
So it's, that in itself is very unique.
I
Period.
agree. It's the first time I've bumped into it. I mean, I'm sure there was others, but I don't think I've heard one here before, except for these guys, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So then it is or is not a fair and substantial relationship?
Well, is not is toward approving the variance. I would say is not.
Correct. It's one of those double negatives. That's why you read it and it messes.
It's the hardest one to,
It is the hardest one to actually go through, yep.
And the proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because?
I would say it's reasonable to have a retail car sales property in a commercial too.
I agree.
I agree.
And then, so we did pass it, so now we gotta go back to the hard conversation.
So conditions.
Well, some
How-
are easy. I think we should agree with their times, 10 to 5, Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Saturday. Does anybody disagree?
No, I agree with the times of operation. You're okay with that? Anybody have any disagreement to what the applicant gave for testimony?
Does that go with the property too?
It's part of the variance, yep. So in other words, if someone did come in and they operated, they could not operate on a Monday at 7 AM because their
Unless they
operating
came back
hours
here.
are only, right, 10 to 5.
Don't leave.
We're not planning on it.
So,
Did you get those?
I'm
so I'm gonna
waiting
do
for stuff.
hours of operation. Shall be Monday through Friday, 10 AM to 5 PM. Saturday, 10 to 2 PM, no Sunday.
Does that mean if I call and I want to see one of their cars on a Saturday at 3 PM, they can't allow me to do that?
Correct.
Correct.
You,
I
Disagree.
I have an issue with that. I
Well,
think
when
that's a
we've-
hardship. Do we have to have a condition like that?
Yes.
I like the
Why?
condition.
You-
Because it's
I
a-
understand conditions too, but they're very, very, very reasonable. And I understand that, but I still think, well, the only time I'm available to come is on a Saturday and I work until 2. That could be a hardship for them because I can't come at 3. Unless they want to meet me somewhere else with a car.
Next door, we could have a drink.
So,
Who's gonna police it?
Fairly police. It's just gonna be if it
This is-
starts to be a
this is
problem,
for-
the neighbors could.
this is for the record.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I know.
Yep.
So I guess, I mean, to your point, Christine, you know, if I said I can only come at 9 o'clock on a Saturday or midnight on a, you know,
Well, I understand.
I mean, we all have limitations.
I understand that. I just think that expanding the hours and let them choose their hours is.
But you have to understand, this goes with the land.
That's what I mean. And I
So-
understand that.
So these conditions, because these these variances don't fit in our nice boxes that we have for our zoning ordinances. So then the layers that we do here help to take something that is round and we're trying to put something square
Right,
into
I-
it.
Right, but normal business hours are 9 to 5.
Well, I mean, this comports with the hours they've requested. If
Correct,
they
'cause
wanted to
that's their
change
testimony.
They
business,
didn't
they could-
request those hours.
Well, those are the hours
said
But
the
they
hours. They did.
testified those are their hours.
So if they wanted to change them, I know it's a position, but they would come back
They
here
could
and
come
say,
back.
We
And
need
there's-
additional hours. So it happens. We've had people
Right.
come back for
Correct.
changes.
So that's the first condition.
I would agree with that condition. I guess you shot me down on appointment only requirement.
That's a little tight.
Okay, I can live
That's a
with
tight
that.
one.
I'm sure then, Christine, you'd be worse, you'd be even less happy.
I would be less happy.
Very less happy, yes.
Okay, so
Hey,
I could be
worked-
convinced.
I was an intensive care nurse. I worked 24 hours, so.
Oh, no, I can be convinced. That was just a thought. Okay. and now the car number.
All right.
So let's compromise on something, and I assume planning says they can accommodate much more. It's a one-time comeback for more. I don't know that it's not horrible.
No.
So I've heard 15, I've heard 10, I've proposed 12. I could vote any of those ways.
I could do 12.
Can we agree on 12?
Can we agree on 12?
You don't need my vote to agree on 12.
Well-
It's a condition,
I
so,
understand it's a conditional, but if they have 16 parking spaces.
well, we don't know.
I can't clarify at this point.
We
can I?
don't
Yeah,
know.
No. Can I ask a question?
Nope, because we're in
Okay.
deliberations, that's it.
Well, if they have 16, I'll call them legal parking spaces.
Yeah, but we don't know that, because that's not what was.
Are you gonna say up to 12, or are you gonna say 12?
Shall not exceed
12.
12.
I have an issue with that. I think that's unreasonable when they requested 15.
They requested 20.
All right, they requested 20, so 10, so let's compromise at 15. I mean, they showed that they're not on the street, they're not visible from the street. And if you're concerned about someone coming to see one, they can park on the street to come and see one. So they requested 20.
Yeah, but don't, so, the 5 points of law for safety, we agreed that there was no safety concern or public concern. In this we have a neighborhood, we have homes, we have residential homes, and we have C2, we have mixed. That's something we're like wrestling with now because it's mixed
Yeah.
use.
Okay.
And now we're gonna have, so we have to be careful because now we're gonna have customers parking on the street.
Well, they wouldn't have to,
They
they can
wouldn't-
pull into the
right,
road, the
so-
driveway, but-
I guess
Horse in this game.
that's why we should just,
For 3 cars, come on, we can figure it out.
Well, we said we're having the hours because that's what they stated. But yet, we're not being I don't think we're being reasonably compromising with them on what they asked for maximum number of vehicles on the site. I don't think we're compromising with them on that, so.
well, it's not about actually compromise, it's what we believe to be a condition so that the variance can be safely granted. Because we're at the last part, which is just the condition.
I understand, but we've gone through the variance, and the variance is size. It has nothing to do with what you're putting in that size.
It does.
Does it, I mean, again, I know maybe I was the only one who liked that language, but would it work if we did reasonable amount to be determined by the planning board, or if none is determined, then no more than 15 cars? And so we're throwing to the planning board, hey, you can say less. We understand you can.
I do like that language.
I do too.
So why don't we do that?
But you're gonna put it at 15?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna
No.
put it that it's
No,
upon,
yeah, the planning board can basically, reasonable amount to be determined by
by the planning
by the
board.
planning board, or if not determined by the planning board, then no more than 15
Because-
cars and trucks or cars
I
or trucks, or 15 vehicles, or units, or whatever you want,
Units, whatever.
at the same time.
Vehicles under 1 ton or less.
Right,
1 ton or less. excuse me.
right, because that's what,
Yeah, vehicles under 1 ton, because that lets you do,
Okay,
40 seconds.
so I think that works as a,
all right. Okay, Mr. Attorney, give me
Thank
that
you.
one more time.
Thank you.
a reasonable, let's say, number of vehicles to be determined by the planning board, or if not determined by the planning board, then no
Can't
more
write that fast.
Okay, yeah, a reasonable number of vehicles.
to be determined by the planning board.
Under the tonnage, aren't you gonna put the tonnage?
Well, I'm gonna
in?
put that at the end,
Okay.
but we can fix it if we don't like it.
Reasonable number of vehicles to be determined by the planning board.
Yes, or if not determined by the planning board, then no more then 15 vehicles, and then do the tonnage, however you.
You can tell I'm not the lawyer in the group, huh?
You're the nurse, so
I'm the
now I'm going to
nurse.
go when I'm not
I'm
feeling
the
well.
caretaker. Well, no, I'm retired, well retired.
You'd still help me out if I really needed it.
I would,
You save lives.
huh?
You save lives.
Much more important than what I do.
And I still.
If not determined by the planning board. If not determined by the planning board,
Then no more than 15,
Dressed up like the Grinch
Oops,
driving
no
around.
more than.
Are you the one dressing up
Van.
like the Grinch driving around town?
15,
vehicles, and then what's the tonnage? I didn't-
vehicles no greater
And
than
one time.
a 1 ton.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay,
we
is that it for the conditions?
I'm good with those.
I'm good with it?
Do we
Thank
have
you.
to
Okay,
address signage at all?
no,
Not yet.
no.
I do have a sign though, I did see it.
Okay, so do I have a motion? Because this one's gonna be a mouthful. Mitch?
I'm making the motion, I don't have the conditions. You have all the conditions.
I'd like to make a motion for case number 1217, 2025-4, request for a variance LZO 4.3.2.a to allow a retail sales operation on a lot under 1 acre with less than the required frontage on a Class 5 road or better to be granted. Do I have
Subject to the,
subject to the following conditions. Hours of the operation shall be Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., no Sunday operation. A reasonable number of vehicles to be determined by the planning board. If not determined by the planning board, no more than 15 vehicles, no greater than 1 ton. Do I have a second?
I second that.
I'll second that. Oh, well, she seconds, she wins.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay. Can I suggest we take, the others should be quicker, a short 5-minute break? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
we can. I'll just close this one.
Yeah, as soon as we close that.
Case number 1217, 2025-4 has been granted 4-0.
Thank you. Oh, it's in this file. And this exhibit, I assume, will apply to every file. I don't need to read it every time, though.
No.
Okay. So, let me give you the file. Here's her voting.
We're
and
going to take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, I think 5 minutes sounds good.
Thank you.
There's that. Thank you. All right, I'll be right back. Oh, I'm stiff. Oh, my God. Getting too old.
We're gonna sit there a long time.
Cold in here. You're under the gun, that's why.
You could see it. The dogs in the group, looks like they encroached into the existing property in the back.
It's the winter.
The Thompson Group, where? Thompson Group.
They own the red, friendly red stuff.
They own what? Friendly red stuff. Oh, that?
Yeah. Looks like, with the green space in the front.
I don't know, I get so many emails, I probably read it and just went, yeah, okay. I don't go like.
Well, yeah, I did. I didn't see it.
Capital Forums came together, and a couple of the other people came with me. I know gotta stay away from people.
I'm the same rep too. Oh, are you? Yes. He's in my committee. He is your Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so is the next one the minimum frontage?
So now, that's gonna kick in, with the building within the 60-foot front setback. So now,
They wanted us to start.
they already have.
Moving along now.
Let's move this along now.
All right, so
All
next
right.
one.
Proceeding. I read through your next case to be presented, and
Should I read it into the record?
yeah,
please?
you're gonna read into the record. I just want to advise you, go ahead and just read your 5 points of law, because a lot of what you've already presented and we've hashed out is now going to fall to the others, okay?
So I'm going to read into the record,
Perfect.
then your turn.
Then your turn, okay?
Hank, go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Case number 12-17-2025-5, a request for variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.1 to allow a retail automobile sales operation with a building within the 60-foot front setback. The parcel is located at 6 Dickey Street in the Commercial 2C2 zoning district, tax map 010, lot 109. Leon and Tamara Lampus, owner, TF Moran, applicant. Your turn.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure.
State
if
your
it's-
name and address again for the
Ja-
record. Here we go.
Yeah.
Jason
Get
Hill.
good at this.
TF Moran, 48 Constitution Drive, Bedford, New Hampshire. So, I'm not sure if this can be handled, but it's this way. I'll get into the points relative to, this is an application for Article 433A1, which is a front setback variance.
Yes.
So, as I stated on the last case, and I'm going to state pretty much for the remaining 6 odd cases,
You gotta read them.
I'd like to incorporate the arguments made on the first case by reference into this case. So I'm bringing those points into this case already. And I'll just point out, I can read through the points again. It's going to be almost very similar. I can just point out some minor differences.
So we have the letter, so just go 1 through.
Just read them in.
Yeah, just
Okay.
read them in.
I can do that as well, thank you. So, I'm gonna skip the background description, that's the same background of the first case in terms of the project location zoning under, so under the first criteria, which is the, public interest, the existing automotive use that was established in 1950 has been long established within the current, that structure has been established within the current front yard setback for, for decades. That location has not created any adverse impacts that we're aware of to traffic safety, negative neighborhood characteristics, or impacts to the public welfare. The granting of the variance would recognize the building's historic placement, allowing the property continue the permitted use of and expanded retail component. And this vehicle sales, as we've heard testimony of tonight, has been this vehicle sales and service, although we're not proposing the service component, has been in place for many former owners. So it's been in existence. The longstanding presence demonstrates that the reduced setback doesn't conflict with the public interest. So the second prong is the spirit of the ordinance. That is, the intent of the front yard setback is to promote consistent building placement, maintain character, protect public health and safety. So we're not going to require any building additions or increased employees or significant increases in traffic. The building has existed in its current location for many years without any known adverse impacts to the neighboring properties or public. So recognizing this grandfathered historic placement due to the variance won't alter the character or compromise safety. And as was mentioned, that there's a lot of other close structures in the locale to the road itself, so it's already being already abutting properties have equal issues. Substantial dust is prong number 3. The building has existed for decades, has been used as a car dealership and service for decades without adverse impacts to the public, any known adverse impacts. So denying this would serve no public purpose, and the building cannot be reasonably changed, and no benefit would result in strict conformance with the required setback. So this variance ensures the property can continue with its use, respecting both its history and the surrounding neighborhood, and enable reasonable future use for the Lempas. The value diminution clause, number 4, we'd submit that the buildings, again, has been long established in this location, most likely predating the zoning ordinance, since it originates in the 50s. So the presence hasn't contributed to any known diminution surrounding property values. And these improvements to the site itself will enhance the locale and the property values in the locale. So for those reasons, we meet the 4th prong. The 5th prong is the literal enforcement of those provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship owing to special conditions of this property which distinguish it from other properties in the area, that there's no fair and substantial relationship between the general purpose, public purpose, and the specific application to this property. As was stated by board members already, this is a unique area of town, mixed character, residential, commercial, small lots, unique conditions. So I'll submit that, and I'll submit that, we're not changing the nature of the overall usage significantly. You won't, with the uniqueness I mentioned and the fact that we'll be improving the property and other factors, we're meeting the intent of, because the denial would basically create an unnecessary restriction on the reasonable use of their business, to have that retail component. So that's my arguments for the proposed application.
Did you read number 2 about proposed use as a reasonable one?
The proposed use is a reasonable one, Part B. It's the primary use is permitted by right in the zoning district, being auto sales, and the historical nature of the usage, in fact, that there's been no beef, issues with the abutters or the known issues, is definitely fact to prove that this is a reasonable use of the property. We're also bringing it more into compliance with the ordinance, whereas without this project, you'd have a remaining non-conforming lot, or a more non-conforming property.
All right, any questions from the board members? Okay, I'd like to take it out into the audience. Anyone that would like to speak in favor of the applicant?
You want me to reiterate what I...
Got to do it again,
Okay.
for the record.
Okay. Wayne McDonald, 11 Dickey Street. I live directly across from from 6 Dickey Street. And, they've been great neighbors. They've been an asset to the street. That whole side is zoned commercially anyway. 3 out of the 5 buildings on the street, on that side of the street, are businesses already. The improvements they're talking about, Mr. Moran is indicating that they're going to make to the property will enhance the neighborhood. For the decades that my family has been involved in living and owning property there, I currently own the property. It's never been a problem. Neighborhood is very well adjusted to having a car-related business there. It's always been great, and I see that continuing. It'll be a very positive thing. So, absolutely support it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor of the applicant? Let the record show there is no one. Anyone in opposition that would like to speak at this time? Let the record show there is nothing. Bringing it back to the board, do we have any questions of the applicant for this? I've got nothing.
I've got nothing new.
Okay, let's go into deliberations.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Let's go into deliberations. Whenever you're
Ready
ready.
for the 5 points of law, we're ready.
That's okay.
Granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because.
I say would not because it would not alter the character of this neighborhood.
I would agree.
I agree. You agree? Okay. Do we have a fourth agreement on that?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Perfect.
Try
I
to get
can't
credit.
write and talk at the same time.
It's the gum chewing problem.
The spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because.
I would say it would be observed. It does not violate the health, safety, or welfare.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree. Granting the variance would or would not do substantial, excuse me, justice because.
Would do substantial justice. Their loss would be greater than any gain to the public.
I agree.
I agree. For the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties would or would not be diminished.
Would not be.
I say would not be because of the character of this neighborhood.
It's not changing it in a way that would have a negative impact.
You agree with that, Mitch?
I agree hard, yeah.
Awesome.
You and I are in clear agreement.
And Lisa, are you in agreement at that?
I am in agreement.
Perfect.
Okay, owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property because.
I say there is not because of the size, the parcel size, and the location of this parcel mixed in with residentials.
Agree.
Agree.
And the fact that it's 70 years old.
That's
It's a unique piece,
parcel in a commercial too.
very unique.
Okay, agree. Excuse me, the proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because.
Running a
It's a reasonable one for this neighborhood.
Yeah, running a retail auto business on a commercial two property is reasonable.
Yeah, I agree
Okay.
with that.
Perfect. For the record.
Now, should we grab our last list and replicate our list here of conditions?
We do not, we do not need to.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay,
Because the first one says it all.
okay. Yeah, I didn't know if we had to replicate it in every one. That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay.
Okay, so no comments or restrictions?
I don't have any conditions on this.
Well, we could just refer to the original, right? Say same restrictions as in.
Why?
Well, this one's for the 60-foot setback.
Yeah, but we'd still have the same
Doesn't
restrictions.
have
if-
anything to do with business hours and.
No, but neither does the other one. I mean, if you guys feel otherwise, I think in the past what we've done is just that same restrictions as in case number, in this case it would be 12-17-2025-4. I think we have. Look, you've been here
I've never-
longer and
I've
you know
never
more than me.
written
You're the
that.
boss. So if you know better,
I don't, I
All
think
right.
it's redundant
Trust-
because
trust
the
the
first
boss.
one sets the stage. And then after that, everything else just,
I'll trust her.
I'm good on this for conditions. I don't have any.
Okay.
All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve case number 12-17-2025-5. I'm sorry, grant.
Grant,
Yeah.
very good.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So case number 12-17-2025-5 for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.1 to allow a retail automotive sales operation with a building within the 60-foot front setback has been granted. We're ready for the next case.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. All right, so I've got, is this the right one? Let me see, 5.
This one is number, yeah, we're gonna go on to 6.
Going on to 6.
Yep.
All right, so are we all set for me to read?
Yep, we sure are.
Okay, so the next case is case number 12-17-2025-6, a request for variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.2 to allow a retail automobile sales operation with buildings within the 30-foot side setback. The parcel is located at 6 Dickey Street in the Commercial 2 C2 zoning district, tax map 010, lot 109, Leon and Tamara Lampus, owner, TF Moran, applicant.
Please state your name for the record.
Jason Hill, TF Moran, 48 Constitution Drive, Bedford, New Hampshire.
I do have a question for you before you go through the 5 points of law. The buildings within the 30-foot side setback are which buildings? For the record.
So that would be the main building,
Which is number, I think it says one-story wood frame?
yeah, 1-story.
Okay. So that is the building that we are referring to.
Yes, yes.
Okay?
That's correct.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
the main building is in the front setback.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is the side setback, so it would be the
The
garage?
main building is entirely within the front setback.
Okay.
The side setback would be,
Which buildings?
I'm just looking at the X-Con plan. It actually almost appears that it would be for the garage, but that's covered with the rear setback as well.
Right. That's why I wanted
Yeah.
clarification on which buildings we were talking about, because it was plural.
So that variance actually doesn't look like it would apply, because there are no other buildings that are within the side setback that we're proposing to retain.
Because in the first case tonight that we heard, to allow the retail sales automotive to operate, testimony said that the sheds were gonna be removed.
Yeah, that's correct.
So I didn't know if this was pertaining to the sheds, because there was 2 sheds.
Yeah, those would, so they're technically like in both the side and the rear, because they're on the corner. So same with the building itself. If you extended the side, it would go into both. You know what I'm saying? We cut off the setbacks on the plan because they intersected. So it's actually for the main building and the garage. If you were to extend the side setback,
Okay.
it would affect the main building and the garage.
And the garage. Okay,
Correct.
very
So it's
good.
for those two.
All right, thank you for clearing
Yep.
that up for the
It
record.
should show differently on the plan so that
Okay.
it jives better and you can understand what.
Thank you. Okay, so if you want to go into the 5 points of law.
So the first prong would be the public interest. It's gonna sound familiar. The existing, the use, was established in the 50s and has been running for decades. And that structure has remained unchanged throughout that period. There has been no known adverse impacts to traffic safety, neighborhood character, public welfare. So this will recognize this building's historic placement, allow the property to continue within its permitted use and allow reasonable use for the business proceeding. This vehicle sales establishment use is consistent with the current zoning regulations, and the building's long-standing presence demonstrates that the reduced setback doesn't conflict with the public interest. The second prong is the spirit prong. Spirit of the ordinance preserved. The purpose of the requirement is to promote consistent building placement, maintain neighborhood character, protect health and safety. The project will not require any building additions or increased employees or significant traffic increases. This building configuration has been in place for decades with similar abutting conditions and without adverse impacts to the abutting properties of the public. So recognizing this, allowing this building to proceed, these buildings to proceed via the variance, will not alter the essential character. The substantial justice is made because the loss to the applicant will outweigh the gain to the public if the variance is denied. There will be no gain to the public if the variance is denied. The applicant will not be allowed to have reasonable use of its property if the variance is denied. The surrounding properties will not be diminished because we're not altering the character of the neighborhood. We are improving the property, the site features of the property, and landscaping features of the property. Literal enforcement of the provisions of this ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, because no fair, extant, and substantial relationship exists between the public purpose from the ordinance and the application to this property. The parcel size and location of the parcel are unique, mixed commercial, residential. This building, the structures have been in place for 70 years, the main structure, and is the general usage of the property has remained consistent. The proposed use is reasonable because the primary usage is unchanging in nature and is permitted by right in the base zoning district. So for that reason, the use is reasonable. And that would be our case for the side setback variance request.
Okay. Any questions from the board members?
I do not have.
Okay, I'd like to take it out to the audience. Is anyone in favor that would like to speak on behalf of the applicant?
Wayne McDonald, 11 Dickey Street, directly across from 6 Dickey Street, and I totally concur with what Mr. Moran has said. It's completely accurate, and it's been my experience over the years and my observation over the years, and I support what they want to do.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition? Let the record show there was no one in opposition. Bringing it back to the board for any other questions. Okay. Deliberation, public hearing is closed. Let's go into deliberations. I have nothing else to hash out.
I do not.
Okay, let's go into 5 points of law.
Granting variance would or would not be contrary to the excuse me, public interest because
I say would not because it is not altering the character of the neighborhood.
I would agree.
Agree?
the spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because
I would say would be observed. It doesn't harm the health, safety, or welfare of the public.
I agree.
Agree. Granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because
It would do substantial justice if the variance was not granted. The applicant's loss would be greater than any gain to the public.
Agree.
for the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties would or would not be diminished.
It would not.
I agree, it would not. It's,
agree.
Agree.
it's the exact same character of the neighborhood.
Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property because
There is not. This is a unique property, less than half-acre property in a commercial two in a neighborhood that's of mixed use.
Surrounded by residents.
Yep.
Residential.
and the proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because
It is because it's an existing use, continuing use. How about that?
It's a reasonable use because of the character of the neighborhood.
Okay, go along with that.
For that too.
Good with that, Mitch?
Sure.
Lisa, you like that one?
Yes, I like
Okay. Do I have a motion? I got no conditions. Does anybody have any conditions?
We've had this
Okay.
conversation.
Okay, just want to make sure for the record. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant case number 12.17.2025.6.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
You're
I'm not
opposed?
opposed. I didn't say aye.
Oh,
for
okay.
the
Oh, I
first part.
Okay.
so you got
All those
it.
in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I was wondering
It's getting late.
It is. It's a little
Okay.
bit late.
Case number 1217-2025-6, request for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.2 to allow a retail automobile sales operation with buildings within the 30-foot side setback. Has been granted 4-0.
Okay. I like this.
All right. Next.
Okay, let me read the next one in. Make sure I have the agenda. This is .7. Did I give you yours?
Yep, 7. You haven't given me mine yet.
Let's give you yours. And I'll give. Here's this one.
Thank you.
Here's
Thank you.
this one. Okay. Case number 12-17-2025-7, a request for variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.3 to allow a retail automobile sales operation with buildings within the 30-foot rear setback. The parcel is located at 6 Sticky Street in the Commercial 2 C2 zoning district, tax map 010, lot 109, Leon and Tamara Lampus, owner, TF Moran, applicant.
So for the rear setback, I have a question before you start. Oh, actually, you have to state your name
Okay.
for the record.
Jason Hill, Civil Project Manager, TF Moran, 48 Constitution Drive, Bedford, NH, New Hampshire.
Okay, this one also states buildings as plural.
Yeah.
Is it just that it pertains to the garage?
Yes.
Okay, that is not to, and you are not asking for those sheds that we see on our
Existing
packet, because those will be removed.
Yes.
Thank
They'll
you.
be relocated.
Thank
and,
you.
so-
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you. So here we are with the first prong, which is the public interest prong. Similar, so this garage has been constructed in the mid-60s. So it's been long established within the current rear setback and been used for vehicle storage and maintenance space historically. There's been no known adverse impacts to traffic, public safety, character, detriment to neighborhood character, or public welfare. So this will recognize the building's historic placement, allowing the property to continue with the use. The long-standing presence demonstrates the reduced setback does not conflict with the public interest. The second prong would be the spirit of the ordinance, which is to protect health and safety. The intent of the rear setback is to, promote consistent building placement, maintain neighborhood character, protect health and safety. This garage, again, has existed for many decades in its current location without the creation of any nuisances or negative impacts that we're aware of. So recognizing the historic placement and as well as the removal of the 2 sheds that also infringe will mitigate the any negative effects with the project, which I do not foresee. So we're removing 2 sheds. We're keeping the garage. The substantial justice, which is will be made in allowing us to continue to use the garage, because the loss to the applicant will outweigh the gain to the public if the variances are Property values will be improved by this project. The removal of the sheds, encroachments will create a larger buffer, and the usage of that garage space, which abuts, I think, a auto wholesaler's property of similar use, will not diminish the property values because of the character of the neighborhood as well, will not be impacted by the project. If anything, enhanced by the site works. And the literal prong 5, literal enforcement, results in an unnecessary hardship to the applicant in that, owing to the special conditions of this property, distinguish it from other properties in the area, then no fair and substantial relationship does exist between the public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to this property. This parcel size, the historic usage, and the location of the parcel, which is mixed within a residential and commercial district of many unique lots due to their size and configuration, will makes this a unique project. And for those reasons, there will be no a hardship imposed on the applicants if for no good reason for the denial, if denied. Finally, the proposed use is reasonable because the primary usage will remain unchanged in its general nature, has existed for decades, and we will be is permitted by right, and will be enhancing the property site, through site improvements and landscaping. So that's the case, our case for the variance request for the rear setback of the garage.
What did you say about permitted by right?
Yeah, I meant that the zoning ordinance allows automotive sales as a use permitted by right in the C2 district. That's what I meant to say. So that therefore it's already determined that's a reasonable use of the ordinance by that nature, that it's permitted by, that's all I meant.
Any questions from the board members?
Nick, did you have anything about this one?
Yeah, and the last one. I have concerns about the language in it, because of the way it's stated that buildings within the 30-foot setback, blank. So I can see in the future somebody coming and saying, I'd like a permit to expand my building or to add sheds in the setback, and I say, no, you can't do that. And they say, yeah, we got a variance for it right here. You gave the previous owners a variance to have buildings in the setback. There was nothing put on it as far as existing buildings.
You're right, so that's why in the record, I made them state exactly which buildings they were talking about,
Okay,
because that was not clear to me.
right.
So it's existing buildings minus, right?
Because I made note that it was no sheds, as I see as what was presented. And again, started this because I wanted to make sure I understood what building we were talking about, because it said buildings.
Right.
That's good, though. We should be, yeah.
Well, and I have a question too, because I've heard, as it relates to the sheds, I've heard move and remove. So are the sheds being moved or removed?
Relocated,
Relocated on the property?
right.
So testimony says they were going to be removed.
Removed from the setback.
Unfortunately, we had, somebody else was working with us, and he moved to another job. So Jason took over with the other, Matthew. left
Well, I
off.
think if they're of quality, they can be
So,
relocated, then we'd relocate them, but they've been removed from the building the applicable building
so Nick,
setback.
when this goes to the planning board, if these sheds can't fit within the proposed site plan and everything that they're gonna give to, that's on the planning board.
Right.
Okay.
I just didn't want the language of the variance to be vague enough so that a future applicant could come to me and say, you have to give me a building permit within the setbacks, because I get a variance that says I have variance for buildings.
Right. So, because there was no, because in the record, I clarified
Right.
what we were talking about.
Yeah.
We can, I've never had to reopen something that we voted on to add conditions. I would have to. I'd have to make a motion back to the board to open up what we just approved so that we could add language for any conditions. So let's
Finish this one.
finish this one,
Finish this with
and then we can
conditions.
go back and, and state that. So, and you're absolutely right, because I thought clarifying it for the record is one thing, but actually stating it in the conditions seals the deal. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? No? Lisa? No, you good?
Well, I had a question for Nick. Is the setback for sheds the same as the setback for,
Buildings, yes.
yeah?
Yeah.
And so if the sheds are set on sonotubes, do they need a building permit?
Yep.
Good.
Well, actually, that's in flux right now.
Make it harder.
We always required building permits for all sheds, so that we could see where they were being placed, make sure they weren't being placed in setbacks. But the Building Code Board of Review changed a lot of rules and codes, and they wanted to simplify the tent codes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need, they didn't need permits from the fire department for tents under 400 square feet, I believe it was, or 200. But they wanted to simplify it, so they said, okay, all accessory structures under 400 square feet don't need a permit.
Because your denial letter just states, based on this plan we're looking at, it says building is within the 30-foot rear setback.
Yeah,
It doesn't say sheds. So I do have some sheds, therefore,
they're buildings,
yeah, so we'd include the sheds in this variance request.
right.
They're being relocated, but the relocated sheds are proposed to be still within the 30-foot building rear setback. So I'm going to revise the point I made about the sheds being relocated to, the sheds are included in the variance request, along with the garage. The sheds are being relocated into the property, whereas they touch the property line today. They're being relocated to approximately 8 feet offset from the property line.
For the rear setback, what
For
we're
the
talking
rear.
about right now.
Correct, so they're included in
So-
this request as well.
You understand that, everybody? Okay.
They're gonna still be within the setback then? You're
That's
requesting a variance for the sheds?
Yeah, I'm adjusting the variance to include the sheds, which will be relocated as shown on the exhibit plan I attached, which is 8 feet approximately from the nearest point to that
So
property
you're
line.
actually not adjusting your variance, you're just clarifying
Correct.
the language
Yes,
in this
correct.
variance,
Thank you.
okay?
That's
So that we
correct.
can clean it up, okay?
That's correct.
Anybody on the board have questions, sheds, anything, what it's made of, what are we talking about? Good?
I'm okay for now.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna take it out, well, wait a minute, you didn't do the presentation yet?
No, I did.
Yeah, you did, okay,
Okay.
so that's all
That's
set.
blending together.
All right, anybody that would like to speak in favor of the applicant?
I wonder.
Wayne McDonald, 11 Dickey Street, directly across from 6 Dickey Street. I concur with the information that's been provided, and I support the variance.
Thank you.
Getting shorter.
I'm refining it each time.
He's working on it.
I'd like to bring it back out
Wait
to
a
the
minute.
audience.
Nick has a question.
I think that you should have language in it saying that the size should remain the same with the existing sheds if we move them, so that in the future, they can't just be double the size of. Nobody can come and remodel them and make them bigger.
Correct,
Because they've got a variance,
correct.
so.
You're right, yeah.
That would be a condition then?
Yeah, but we'll clean that up when we go back. Like to bring it out back to the audience. Anyone in opposition, let the record show no one is in opposition. Okay, bringing it back to the board. Any other questions about this variance and the buildings that are now included
So there's 3, right?
In the rear, yeah.
in the rear?
But they didn't state where,
It said within 8 feet.
they're still gonna be in the rear.
So,
Yeah.
all right, so within the 30-foot rear setback. Okay. What are the dimension of these sheds? Gotta be precise, this hangs.
I don't know, we'll come back
Do you
next
have a
month
scale?
for the rest of these.
They're,
My office.
can you just state as shown on the existing conditions plan? That's stamped?
Well, they're not,
I don't see a size.
Can you say no
it
greater
doesn't,
than?
it doesn't have a size. We have to be precise on this one.
Can you say cannot be expanded? Have to
There you go,
remain the
cannot be
existing
expanded.
size.
We don't know what the existing size is.
Existing and cannot-
Yeah.
You've had those sheds a long time, right?
They came with the property,
Okay.
and they were actually.
You have
they were actually
measurements. What would you say those sheds were? 6 by 8 or 8 by 8?
8 by 10 and, let's see, 6 by 6.
Yeah, because
probably.
one
8
looks
by-
more boxy than the other.
Yeah, 8 by 8 and 8 by 10. And they were actually.
That
two
looks
more-
fair, that looks approximately correct, without a scale.
And there were 2 more sheds that I already removed out of there. So there was actually 4 sheds there when I bought the property.
Okay.
Well, we're talking about
see?
2 that we know of.
See the
Well,
sheds?
that's
Okay.
all that's there.
That's all
That's the
that's all I want
garage.
there.
Yeah. Can't.
You can't really see them because
From
they're
above, you might be
so
able to.
Oh,
far
here-
back.
Here's one of them.
Yeah, it's hard to, that
Well,
doesn't
he
just-
removed 2 of them.
Yeah, that
and
doesn't
what
do any
you're-
good for us, yeah.
Yeah, what you're looking at is not really what he's talking about because of where it is
Yep.
on this diagram. It's way out back,
Yeah.
is what he's talking about, not the ones he's already removed in our pictures.
Yep.
'Cause those are old pictures.
So how do you want to do it?
Okay, well, we should go through the
Yes.
if we have no other questions on dimensions or sheds or any of that sort, we can, we have no more questions for the applicant?
No.
I'm good?
I'm good.
Okay. Deliberation is, public meeting is closed, let's go into deliberations. We have that it's 8 by 8 and 8 by 10, so we have the dimensions of, that cannot be expanded, okay?
Okay.
All right, do you wanna go into the, are we good to go into the 5 points of law then? Okay?
Yes.
Granting a variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because
It would not, because it would not alter the character of the neighborhood.
I agree, it would not alter the character of the neighborhood. Christine?
Gotta go back to it. No, I'm fine.
Okay, you agree? Okay, good.
spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because
I think the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. It would not violate the ordinance. There's no health, safety, or violation, welfare, public
Nick has
welfare.
his hand up.
Yes, Nick?
I think you should have included the garage in that too.
The garage is included.
The garage is included.
I mean, as far as the size.
Oh, we will
Oh,
open
okay.
up the. That's right. I'd like to open up back to the applicant. What is the size of your garage?
We didn't see it.
Because we're talking about
Yeah, I
the
know, but-
rear setback. We gotta clean up the other one later.
12 by 20.
Divided now.
I can't tell.
12 by 10.
It's oblong.
I
or
see
it's
that,
a,
yeah.
It's a,
Need a rule.
And it's got that. Do you know how many,
Nubby.
do you know how many square feet you have in that garage? Okay.
it's about 25 feet by,
Yeah, I've done that too.
40 plus. Is there a vision card you can pull?
That's what I'm just looking at
Oh,
now.
nice. Thank you. And it's 10 by about 13. Let's see how close I am. So it's 130 plus 25 times 40 is, that's too big scale. That would be 1,000.
It's not 40.
6 months.
Oh, that's 20. Oh, that's why. I'm at the half scale. Yeah, it's 20.
Too small for me to read.
I can't read that. They're gonna tell us.
The next page?
Existing.
It doesn't say the garage size?
No. I mean,
Hold on.
maybe worded that
30.
it expanded from its existing.
From the existing, yeah, okay.
I just don't wanna, in the
It looks
future.
like it's
have somebody
30 by
come
16.
Have to let me, variance.
And then
Okay,
10.
so there's some numbers here,
Yeah, there you go.
outbuildings and yard items. Garage, 1 story.
610 I've got.
That's 416. Does that make sense?
Probably without that other piece on the end.
Yeah.
Shed frame, 54
There's the 2 sheds.
units.
There's the 2 out sheds right there.
All right, so we're gonna,
And
we'll
then
have,
Shed metal might be that matches my numbers. 416 and 120 is close to what I've got for the total for the garage of 610. Is there like a lean-to? That's the lean-to on the garage, the shed metal. That makes sense with the dimensions of the hanging portion of the garage, of the shed. So I believe that the garage, I believe the garage is, and I've measured it on the XCon, I'm getting 610 square feet.
So is the garage,
But
it has an attached lean-to, is that what you just said?
well, it says shed,
An attached shed.
shed metal. I think that's the bump out piece of the garage, how it extends to the
Yeah.
north, to the left.
just, yeah,
And then the primary garage is the
Is this
garage 1 bay,
Yeah.
416. Because when I measured, I got like roughly 420-ish for that, if you make a rectangle out of the garage.
right.
So you could say you could use the town record of the 536 based on that table, if you'd like.
So is the garage and the attached lean-to metal structure 2 separate things?
No, one.
This
It was like an addition, right, that was done
It's
to
all one.
expand it.
Okay.
Yeah, under one roof. And it's roughly 536 square feet. Trying to see if we identified the square footage on it. We didn't. Of course we didn't.
So we can use, because what you're coming up with, what we have on the card, I don't want to create an issue here, so we can use the language not to be expanded upon, okay? So that we can cover and not create something here, okay? We can do that. All right. Where were we on this? 3.
Granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because
There'd be greater loss to the applicant than gain to the public.
Agree.
Agree.
Agree. For the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties would or would not be diminished.
Would not be diminished, the character of the neighborhood. It's exactly the same character as the neighborhood.
I agree.
Agree.
Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from the other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property because.
So there is not, this is an irregular lot, a .4 acre, C2 in a mixed in a residential neighborhood.
Proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because.
It's a reasonable one according to the character of the neighborhood. Do you agree? Okay.
I agree.
Lisa, do you agree?
I was.
Nice. Perfect. Okay. Now, conditions for this one. All right, so we'll start with the bigger piece, which, garage. Garage as it's not, at the garage as presented,
But it's not.
because it's presented here. So,
But there's no measurements.
Hmm?
There's no measurements.
Are you saying there is or there is not?
There are no measurements as
Correct.
presented
So
on
what-
this drawing.
right, so the condition reads, garage as presented shall not be expanded upon. And sheds as presented,
Sheds?
there's
Yeah.
2 there.
So do we need to stipulate 2 sheds?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Sheds as presented,
Got it.
8 by 8 and 8 by 10 shall not be expanded upon.
Sounds good.
Any other conditions I missed?
I don't think so.
I'm looking good.
Hold on, I need a minute. This is the variance for the rear setback,
Yes.
and we're allowing for 2 sheds and a garage.
Should you say that no other structure shall be allowed within that setback?
They have to come
They
for
have to come
variance.
Yeah, that,
Yep.
Anyways.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm good on that.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to grant case number 12-17-2025-7.
Subject to?
Oh, subject to the conditions that the garage as presented shall not be expanded upon, and the sheds as presented, excuse me. I'm sorry, what?
This is what she,
Are you okay
Jackie
with the
wrote.
language?
Yes.
Okay, good, just in case you need to get caught up.
8 by 8 and 8 by 10.
8 by 10 shall not be expanded upon.
Perfect,
Yeah.
you're in complete agreement.
Do I have a second on that?
I second that.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Case number 12-17-20-25-7, request for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.3 to allow retail automotive sales operations with building within the 30-foot rear setback with the following conditions. The garage as presented shall not be expanded upon. The sheds as presented, 8 by 8 and 8 by 10, which is feet, shall not be expanded upon. Has been granted.
Are we gonna go back to?
We gotta go back to the other one. So let me make a formal on that one first.
I'm gonna do this and this, this.
And is this the one that comes back?
Yeah, it was just the one beforehand, so whatever was the one just
Number
before
6.
this.
So I would like to make a motion to reopen case number 12-17-2025-6, request for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.2 to allow a retail automotive sales operation with buildings within the 30-foot side setback to declare the conditions that were not written. Do I have a
I'd
second?
second.
Mitch seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, let's do it. Let's clean that up. All right, so this is for the side setback.
Garage and the house.
So it is, the garage shall not be expanded upon as presented. And in this one, that was the sides, that included the sheds too, on the side setback,
In the house.
and the house.
Yeah. You could put it, existing structures shall not, in the setback shall not be expanded.
Sounds good to me.
Existing structures in the side setback. Shall not be expanded upon. Okay. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion for case number 12-17-2025-6. Request for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.2 to allow a retail automobile sales operation with buildings within the 30-foot side setback with the following conditions. The garage shall not be expanded upon as presented. Existing structures in the side setback shall not be expanded upon. Do I have a motion?
You just make it.
To grant, yeah, do I have a second? Sorry.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, there.
So we've got 3 more and we've hit 10. Do we continue to finish them?
You guys okay to,
And
Keep going?
I've noticed the tiredness, but I'm
we still have 3 more.
yeah.
I'm exhausted, but you do what you want.
Okay. Exhausted?
Exhausted.
So we're only required to go till 10 o'clock. What I do is ask the board members if they have enough energy to continue, and it looks like we're pretty much wiped.
Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion that we take case number 1217-2025-8, case number 1217-2025-9, and case number 1217-2025-10 to our January 21st meeting.
I'm in favor of that, so.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, okay, so, come back, and, I believe since this was carried over, for the January 21st, will it be, do we know the rotation yet for those meetings? When we push it to the next meeting,
Those
they
usually
start
come
first.
Oh, yeah, I would assume that we put them first since they were a carryover.
Okay,
But
all right.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you in January, okay?
Okay.
you have your new people here.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
I gave
These
you
are
a
the
letter.
3 that we didn't open.
Okay.
Did you put that in that file? Did you make a change into the file? Oh, do we-
I did.
Okay,
I made the change, yep.
okay. Yeah, we're all too tired. This is not.
Okay,
Doesn't
so
make sense.
let's, hold on, we still gotta
No, let's get some business.
just, yeah, let me do
Hey, we don't have any business with you.
is there any communication or miscellaneous business that we are aware of? Let the record show we have none. And I need a motion to adjourn.
Is there any other business?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Adjourn.
Thank you.
I sent the letter. I passed the letter on.
didn't-
Feel free to pass that on to anybody.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't give you the thing. She has a letter from Rob.
And thank you for all I've learned over the past several months.